For our next trick, we have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. All right, everyone, we've got a lunar eclipse coming in on May 5th of 2023. This is happening in Scorpio. Yeah. This is happening at 14 degrees of Scorpio and 58 minutes. So some of you might remember last year we had the baby formula shortage with a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So yeah, we're having another one of those. Real fun. And I think about the connection between the moon and not only literal breast milk, but the moon deals with nourishment, the moon deals with food. And so for the moon to be in its fall, a place of diminishment or difficulty accessing nourishment, and then it being eclipsed and damaged. So we did see that shortage of baby formula, real scary. And so I'm wondering if we'll see something kind of similar. I know that the cost of food has gone up a lot, and a lot of that has to do with these eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio, because we have like this price gouging theme going on with the North Node in Taurus. And then we have like this diminishment with the South Node moving through Scorpio. And Scorpio tends to be a really resourceful sign, a real scrappy sign. So a lot of us have been making sacrifices in terms of how we shop and how we prepare meals each and every week. And that extends beyond just food, but we're seeing this so much with food. So I'm wondering if we'll see a similar repetition of themes this year. But let's go ahead and take a look at the chart for more information. Okay, so this is the chart of our lunar eclipse. This is an apulse lunar eclipse, which means it's a penumbral eclipse. So to give you an idea of what that is, basically, this is what a normal full moon looks like. And we're just going to see a slight darkening of the moon during this eclipse. So it may not be that intense of an eclipse, although I find that when studying eclipses in astrology, like the total eclipses, there is something very, very stark and more impactful and dramatic about that. But, to see a total eclipse, you have to be at a very specific spot. And to experience a total eclipse in astrology, you can be anywhere as long as it's hitting the degree in your chart. So this is one of those things where I'm just going to be watching and observing, because I have seen penumbral eclipses carry a big punch, even if they're not supposed to be as severe visually. So just one of those things for your own observation to take note of. This is where you're going to be able to see it. So if you're in Australia, you're going to be able to see the whole thing. If you are east of there, you'll see it at the end of the night at moonset. And if you are west, then you will see it at moonrise only. So let's take a look at our chart. So this eclipse is happening at a similar degree as the one on November 8th, which was exactly conjunct Uranus. And we saw big themes around technology and social media platforms, big themes there. So we may expect to see more themes there with big tech. And yeah, we saw like specifically Elon Musk taking over Twitter, the blue check fiasco, and all of that. And then we also saw there was an election that day here in the United States. So there were some surprise losses and some surprise wins. All in all, the surprise element that can come with eclipses is almost twofold here with Uranus. The other layer here that we have is that the eclipse is ruled by a fallen Mars in Cancer. And it's interesting because we have the moon also in its fall in Scorpio. So this quality of fallen is important. But the other cool layer here is that they are in mutual reception. So where we have this Scorpio moon saying, I don't feel protected, I don't feel nourished, I don't feel safe, and I don't feel secure. There's some kind of broad stroke element there rooted with this eclipse. And then Mars is saying we need to protect, we need to preserve, we need to retreat, we need to pull back as a form of taking action. So yeah, Mars in Cancer, it is in its fall, but there are some redeeming qualities because it holds triplicity in Cancer, and it's because sometimes retreating is the best battle strategy, even if it's not like true blue Martian. So there's something about this eclipse which is saying we need to protect, we need to preserve, we need to do something to make us feel safer, and especially the children. I'm hearing that rhetoric from both sides of the political spectrum where people are saying, let's do this Mars and Cancer thing of sheathing our weapons and doing something more drastic about gun control. I think Mars and Cancer can make a great case for that. Although on the other side of the political spectrum, they're also trying to ban art forms like drag and, eliminate gender affirming care in the name of protecting children, as well as censoring books and defunding libraries. So, depending on where you are, the way we go about protecting looks a little bit differently, but the message is clear with this eclipse is there's this sense of insecurity and this sense that we need to protect. So think about how that shows up in your personal life as well, because if this eclipse is hitting something important in your chart, you may feel that need to protect and preserve and pull back and retreat as well. Something else I'm really thinking about when blending these worlds of technology and also protection is, like we already had a little event where someone shared like government secrets all over the internet and they arrested him and are going through all of that, but like a breach of security through technology. And that's something else I think we could watch for around this eclipse is like breaches of technological security. So do what you need to do to protect yourself. Mercury is still retrograde at this time, so there could very well be some sort of technological breach of security. It happens all the time. So that's a little bit about this eclipse. The other thing I wanted to add before I sign off here is that Mars is also in this square to Jupiter. Jupiter in Aries is very outspoken, very opinionated. So there may be like a political or religious undercurrent to why we need to protect. And also, interestingly, Mars and Jupiter are also in each other's signs. Mars occupying Jupiter's sign of exaltation and Jupiter occupying Mars' home sign of Aries. So it's Mars, the ruler of the eclipse, has help. The moon has help. So it's like, unlike last year where there was just like a formula shortage and nothing that you could do about it, here there is something we can do about it. There's a way that we can work together. There's a way that we can pool our resources. There's a way that we can make ourselves feel safer, even if it's not necessarily like the path that we would desire most. Like there's a way. So this eclipse will hopefully show us there's a way through. So that's a little bit about this lunar eclipse. So even though this is the last eclipse of our little eclipse season here, a couple things to still pay attention for, because the sun will align with Uranus on May 9th. So we still have some time of this Sun-Uranus breaking out, breaking free, innovating, rebelling, some sort of like revolutionary impulse to do something different, to eliminate this feeling of being stuck or caged or oppressed. That's really what Uranus is all about, is liberation. And sometimes that's like liberation of the human spirit. And sometimes it's like the new frontier, like technology sort of thing. So that's something to pay attention to, because even though this is a penumbral eclipse, it might not be as severe. It sort of has this long, like we're in it for the long haul with this Sun-Uranus aspect building. And so that's a little bit about what to look out for and how to prepare yourself for this for this April's lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And I hope it is supportive for you and helps you to find a way to establish a deeper sense of security for yourself. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also book your reading with me at catherineurban.com. And hey, you may also want to join Cauldron, my monthly astrology meetup.